Hi everybody, welcome back to CC and Lulu. So happy to be able to bring you another So Happy video. Today we're going to be sewing one of these skirts. This was a pair of jeans that I had that I didn't like how they fit, and I thought it would make a cute skirt. These cute blingy pockets on the back. And I bought this pretty reversible fabric and I made a skirt out of it. And I added the pocket embellishments in the front. Didn't it turn out adorable? So let's get sewing. My two youngest granddaughters wanted to have a skirt like mine. So I went to the Goodwill 99-cent sale and I picked up some jeans and made this for my youngest granddaughter. Isn't that adorable? It's not hemmed yet. I'm gonna have to try it on her before I can hem it.
She's 5 years old and she loves fun, bright, colorful stuff. So Cece picked out this really cute pattern for her, this fabric for her. And then we also put a lot of cute embellishments on it. It's just so fun. And this patch was already on it when she bought it from the Salvation Army, so somebody else must have already patched a hole. And it's cute. It adds to the...
And I just put a blingy flower on that.
Yeah, and it looks so cute.
So today, to show you how to make one, I'm going to make it for my other granddaughter. Now the supplies that you'll need to make one of these are, you'll need a pair of old jeans. Now this holds true for adults as well as children. When you're picking a pair of jeans to make this skirt, it doesn't really matter how it fits in the hiney or in the legs. Mainly you just want to make sure it fits right in the waist because you're going to be cutting it apart anyway and opening it up. So that's all that really matters. Then you'll need to pick the fabric that you want to put in those open plackets once we open the skirt up. Now let me give you a helpful hint with this. When I made my black skirt, that was the first that I had done. The fabric that I chose was a real thick fabric. It's a two-sided. One is silver with black flowers and the other side is black with silver flowers. And while I love the fabric and it ended up turning out nicely, but it was so thick that it didn't hang nicely in the front. It stuck right out like that. So I ended up having to pull it in further like that, and then it was too narrow to walk in, so I had to open up the side seams and put strips in the side seams. It ended up fine, it looks cute, but it's a lot easier if you just get a real fluid, thinner cotton fabric. It'll be easier to work with. Then you'll need some embellishments if you want to put embellishments on it. If not, you don't have to. But you don't want to rely on the stickum that comes on the embellishments, and you don't want to use hot glue because this needs to be washable. So this fabric glue, tacky glue, is a real good one and it goes through the wash well. So that's a good way to put on your embellishments. And then of course you need some coordinating thread to match. So let's take a closer look at the skirt I made for myself. Okay, so this fabric, as you can see, it's almost like an upholstery fabric. I mean, it is pretty stiff. And then on the other side, you have silver with black flowers and black with silver. Now I used the black with silver on the side panels and on the center panel, but in the back, I used the silver with the black flowers. Now for the embellishments, these came in sets like this applique at Joann's. And it had all these little pieces in it. I think this is 2 separate packets here. Now actually, I think that's one of the pricier parts of the skirt because these are like $6 or $7 for one applique like that. And the jeans I already had, and the fabric, you only need like a half a yard of fabric. It doesn't take very much fabric at all. And then it already had these cute blingy pockets on the back. I absolutely love this skirt, and I've worn it a couple times and I've had so many compliments on it. So to begin, you're going to lay out your pair of jeans and you're going to cut out the whole inseam from one end to the other. Now, when you cut this, you're going to cut real close to the seam. You're going to leave the top stitched side alone. You're going to cut just to the side of that, real close, all the way up and around. Just spread the legs out. Keep cutting right up through the crotch and down the other side. Okay, so I have the whole inseam cut out. Now all you have to do is cut your fabric that'll fit in there and sew it in, and you're done, unless you want to put embellishments on. It's really not difficult. It's a great way to recycle those old jeans. Okay, so let's cut our fabric out for the inserts. You want to have the legs spread out like that. So you're going to pull this across. Comes an inch above the crotch and to about an inch past this inseam here. And then you're going to cut so it's just an inch past the other inseam and cut right up. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a rough chunk of fabric that we're going to set inside here. Okay, now just open that up, the inseam, set this in here. There, once you have it in there nice and flat, you're just going to pin this all along the inseam. So I'm going to pin this and I'll be right back. Okay, now as I'm getting up here to pin, this is going to be lumpy here. So what I want to do is cut this seam here. Okay, so now you can just cross this over like that. And look at how nice and flat that lays now. You don't have that huge lump in there. And I'll just pin this, and I'm going to top stitch along there. As I'm sewing up here, I'll go up here and top stitch that as well. And you'll do the same on the back. You'll have to do that, otherwise you're going to have a big lump. Okay, so I have this all pinned in. I cut my seam up here and folded it over so it lies nice and flat. Okay, so I'm using a heavy-duty needle that is meant for sewing jeans because you're sewing on the seams on this. I'm starting at the bottom of one leg. I'm just following the top stitching that was already there. I'm using purple thread because it looks nice with this. Okay, so I'm getting up close to the crotch here. So I'm going to just continue, before I go down that leg, I'm going to continue right up on that part I folded over. Just follow that top stitching. Really important to use those thick needles. Okay, so now I'm going to go down to the bottom of the other leg and stitch right up to the crotch. Make sure you back stitch to lock that in. Okay, so I finished sewing this whole front section, and I'm just going to remove these pins. Okay, so I took the pins out. Now see how nicely this lays? Now with my thick fabric, mine it stuck right out like a bell. It didn't drape nicely like this does. So let me show you the back. Now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to trim along the seams just to trim all that extra fabric off. You want to leave it at least a ½ inch. Now when I sewed across the top here, I reinforced this here. Okay, I came up this leg and up here and back, and I reinforced this back and forth a little bit. And then I started at the bottom and came up the other leg. So I'm going to trim this fabric. And it does end up being a unfinished edge, but I think that's all right. It's underneath and nobody will see it. I guess if you get a fabric that really frays easily, you'd have to be concerned with that, but this cotton won't. Okay, so it's time to do our back section, and once that's in, we're done with the sewing. Now basically we'll do the same thing on the back. Now you want to remember to cut the crotch out a little bit here so we can cross it over. Now when you lay, you'll know how far to cut, because when you lay it down, if it's still buckling some. Cut a little bit more. There. That looks nice. Now, when you're pinning the fabric in here, this does not have that top stitched edge. So as you're pinning it, you're going to be rolling this over, the edge over, onto the fabric and pinning that way. I'm going to pin this placket down before I put the fabric in there and start pinning that. I cut my piece of fabric out to put in here. Now this one side already has a fold from where the seam was. So I will just keep it folded on that line and pin that. The other side does a little bit, so that makes it easier. So I'm going to pin this all the way up and around, and then I'll sew. Okay, so I finished pinning the back placket in here, folding the edges down because they aren't already sewn top stitch like the front side was. Cut this and folded that over and pin that, and you want to really sew that down really well, maybe go over it a couple times to make sure that it holds well, and you want to reinforce across here as well. So I'm going to sew this up and I'll be right back. Okay, so I sewed all the way to this back yoke, and now I turned it around and I'm coming back down to the crotch. And this kind of reinforces that where you cut. But I sewed all the way to the top so that that purple thread didn't end just mid-seam. Okay, so now I got to this part where I had folded it over. Okay, I came up this one leg and then came up here, up, back again, and I'm going to stop right here because it'll be easier if I sew from the bottom of the leg up. So that's what I'm going to do. So I finished sewing this placket in, and I'm going to remove all these pins. Okay, so now I'm going to trim these seams in the back. Now, as I trimmed the seams, I went right up and trimmed right around that part that I folded over, because you want that to lie flat underneath. You don't want a big bulge. So I trimmed the jean off there and the insert. So let's turn this right side out and see what we ended up with. Look at how cute. Isn't that darling? Pretty fabric in the back. But when it's on, it'll hang nicely. So let's put some embellishments on this. Now this is an iron-on applique, but I'm still going to put some glue on it. And it dries clear, which is good since I am messy. I don't know if you can see it or not. I used this fabric for the last pillow that I made too, but it's got a lot of little glitter in it, so it's going to pick up the glitz and the pocket embellishments that I have here. Really cute. So look how cute this turned out. It is totally done except for the hem. I got the embellishments on there. They're still wet, so they haven't turned clear yet, the glue, but as it dries, it does, the glue will turn clear. Isn't they adorable? My granddaughter's gonna be so happy. Both of them are with this. And on the back, some glitz. She's just gonna be thrilled. I can't wait for them to try them on so I can hem them and get them ready. They're just gonna look so springy and cute.
So here are all 3 skirts. They're so cute. There's so many different opportunities and ways to make this to suit your own personality. You can use all the different embellishments, the different fabric, the different colored of jeans. So there's so many fun ways to get creative with this.
What a fun way to use an old pair of jeans that you were just gonna throw away.
Yes.
I think also I'm going to make little sashes or belts that match the fabric for them to tie around in the belt loops for these. I think that would be super cute and really tie it all together nicely. I think they'll really like that.
Yes.
Thank you so much for watching. We are so happy to have you with us again today for this video. And remember, you are loved and are a priceless beauty.
Have a great day, everybody. Happy sewing.
Bye.
Ooh. Ah. Oh.
I don't know her.
Hey now.
No, I can't disown you, my baby doll.